I'm speaking with Chris Phillips, who lives in Utah, and he was the champion of the 2024 inaugural Western Mustang Challenge, and that was held at South Point Arena in Las Vegas. Well, Chris, when I was 6 years old, I was over my birthday cake saying, I want a horse. But you didn't start that early. So I want our viewers to hear your story. When did you start with horses, and how did that lead to you getting involved with the Mustang world?
So we moved to Utah about 15 years ago, and my daughter wanted a horse. And so we went and got a horse, and I had never done anything with horses in my life. And so we got a trainer, and he was helping us, and then he quit. And so we had to go do something because we're going to get hurt. So I actually went to Utah State, and I went through their equine program. And the first part of it I didn't really like. And then finally I figured out all the balance and everything, and like I kind of enjoy this, and I was kind of good at it. So that's how I started in horses, and I was 54 years old when I started riding.
Wow. Well, good for you. And I am so glad that you did that and that you support the Mustangs. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I know you've told me some interesting things about what it was like for what you didn't know when you got involved with horses. So can you share that with us?
So when I got involved with horses, I was at Utah State, and they would say like, go get the bay horse. And I'm like, what's a bay horse? And is that a color? I didn't know. And then they would say like, oh, this horse has got an injury in the hock. And they're like, I'd have to raise my hand and like, what's a hock? And these 18-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids in the same class, they're like rolling their eyes at this 54-year-old guy and like, why is he in here?
Okay.
But
So
it all worked out.
it sure did. Okay, so those of our viewers who are hearing what you just said, even if you've never been on a horse and you've always wanted to be around horses, this is your chance to help save a Mustang. Now let's talk about the Mustang Champions. What is that?
Yeah. So there's two events that the Mustang Champions do. There's the one in Vegas, which is the Mustang Challenge. That's the Western Challenge. And then there's the one in Kentucky, and that's the Mustang Classic, and it's an English event.
And interestingly enough, you won the one in Vegas with the
Yes.
Western side, and you placed third in the English one. So that's pretty cool. All right. So our viewers need to understand now, how is there a way for them to get involved, or how does somebody like you even get involved in this whole event?
That's the cool thing about this one is Mustang Champions has opened up a very big field, because it'd be a 100-day challenge before. Most of the challenges were. This one is like 10 months for the Western one and almost a year for the English one. So a lot more people can get involved, and they have been involved because there was a lot of participation in a lot of these. And then in the one in Vegas, we had like 65 competitors. And then I think it was about the same in the one in Kentucky also.
Yeah, there were a lot. Now, what did you go through then? I mean, you chose your horse. What's the name of the horse that you chose that you won on?
I won on WFR Sin City Sister, and we called her Sister in the barn.
And how did you find that horse? I mean, how would somebody go about actually doing this program?
That's another great thing. You can pick out your own horse from any facility. I was invited to do the one in Texas, and that's where I found Sister. She was in the same pen as the one that I picked up for that. It's just they went through an auction, and I got that one.
And then talk a little bit about how you trained.
Mustangs are different. You really have to, the first part I feel like you have to do is you have to kind of domesticate them, because they are wild animals. And then once you get them more calmed and gentle and used to humans, and then you pretty much pick up where you would train a quarter horse or a paint horse or whatever you're training.
Well, people were pretty impressed with your performance in Las Vegas. What were some of your high points?
My high points in Vegas, having my family there was a very high point. My family is very involved with what I do. My wife does all of the freestyle. She comes up with all of that. My youngest daughter is a horse trainer, and my oldest daughter is a filmmaker. So she does all the videoing and filming too.
Why are these events so important?
There's so many Mustangs out there that need homes, and they're just it's just showcasing the horse very well because you have the 10 months. These horses are very broke and they're very fun to ride and they're very fun to show.
I think that's really important for people to understand. This program is about adopting a Mustang. It's about showing what these horses can do. So when you started and when you finished and actually competed, how did you feel about the progress you had made?
I was very happy with the progress I made. I mean, I was happy for everybody there. There was so many nice people that you meet, and the Mustang world is so inviting. And the horses are like, you talk to everybody that has a Mustang, and they like a lot of them are like one person. Every time I would leave my horse and I'd come back, she would nick her, and that's just a really cool feeling.
Yeah, and why Mustangs? What is it that really has drawn you? I mean, you started late in life and
Mm-hmm.
really your focus is mostly on Mustangs.
Yes. Um, because they have that personality that they are looking for that leader. They are looking and they just are will just do anything you ask them to do. It's just awesome.
And the very first part of it is probably the hardest part is just to kind of get them to understand they're going to be okay now that they're with an actual human being.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much, Chris, for chatting with me.
Mhm.
Do you have any last words you'd like to say or share with our viewers?
The cool thing about the Mustang challenges are that they have the extended time and that really anybody can do it. I mean, if even if you are very new to horses like I was, find yourself a good trainer, work with them, and just have fun with your horse.
I think that's so important. It's not like somebody can't do it. They may not be able to do it alone, but as long as they
Mhm.
can find support and someone to help to guide them, that it is
Yes.
possible. And when you did it the first time, how far were you in the Mustang world that you already knew the Mustang?
I was pretty early on. My daughter did a youth one, and then the next year I decided I would get a Mustang, and might as well. I'm going to be there anyway, so I did one, and I did that probably 9 years ago.
Wow.
Is when I first started working with Mustangs. That was my first Mustang.
Well, I want to thank you so much for helping us get the word out about how wonderful Mustangs are, that they are
Mhm.
trainable, whether you are just starting in that world or if you've been there for many, many years. So thank you again for joining me
Well, thank
today.
you.
And I am Diana DeRosa reporting for the Equus Television Network.